The Secret of Lila's Garden. Once upon a time, in a quiet village nestled between rolling hills, there lived a young girl named Lila. She had long auburn hair that danced in the wind and wide, curious eyes that sparkled with wonder. Her days were often spent in her grandmother's garden, a place that felt more like a dream than reality. It was no ordinary garden. It was a magical haven where flowers seemed to bloom brighter, the air was sweeter, and even the birds sang more beautifully. This garden had been in her family for generations, and her grandmother always spoke of its special energy. "The garden listens, Lila," her grandmother would say with a mysterious smile. "It has secrets only the kind-hearted can hear." Lila didn't fully understand what her grandmother meant, but she felt it. When she closed her eyes, she could hear faint whispers carried by the wind, like the garden was trying to tell her something. One sunny afternoon, as Lila sat near the pond watching the koi fish swim lazily beneath the lily pads, she noticed something strange. A soft shimmering light danced among the daisies. At first she thought it was just the sunlight playing tricks, but as she watched closely she saw it again. A tiny flash like a twinkle of a star. Her heart raced with curiosity. Slowly, Lila rose to her feet and crept toward the daisies. As she knelt down, she gasped in amazement. There, perched delicately on a daisy, was the smallest, most beautiful fairy she had ever seen. The fairy had wings like gossamer, transparent and shimmering with every color of the rainbow. Her golden hair cascaded down her back, and her eyes sparkled with mischief. "Hello there," the fairy said, her voice as soft as the breeze. "I'm Tessa, the guardian of this garden." Lila blinked in surprise. You're real? I've heard stories of fairies, but I never thought." "Oh, we're very real," Tessa giggled, her laughter like the sound of chimes. "We've been watching you for some time now. You have a pure heart, Lila. That's why we've decided to reveal ourselves to you." Lila's eyes widened. "We? There are more of you." With a playful wink, Tessa flicked her tiny hand, and suddenly the garden around them came to life. Dozens of fairies appeared from every corner, some from the flowers, others from the trees, and even a few from the sparkling pond. They fluttered their wings and danced in the air, filling the garden with magic and light. Each fairy was different. Some had wings that glowed like fireflies, others were adorned with crowns of petals or moss. It was a sight beyond Lila's wildest dreams. "We are the caretakers of this garden," Tessa explained, hovering gracefully in front of Lila. "Every tree, every flower grows with our magic. And we've seen how much you love this place." "I do love it," Lila whispered. "It feels like home to me." "That's because it is," Tessa said, her voice growing softer. "This garden has been enchanted for centuries, long before your grandmother's time. But now something is threatening its magic." Lila's heart sank. "What do you mean?" "The forest beyond the hills is growing darker," Tessa said, her tiny face serious. "A shadow has fallen over the trees, and the magic that protects this garden is weakening. If we don't stop it, the garden will wither, and all the beauty you see will fade away." Lila felt a surge of determination. "I want to help. What can I do?" Tessa's face brightened. "I knew you would say that. The only way to save the garden is to reignite the magic at its heart. There's a special flower that blooms in the center of the garden, hidden beneath the oldest tree. It's called the heart blossom, and it's the source of all our power." "Then let's find it," Lila said eagerly. Tessa smiled and led Lila to the heart of the garden, where an ancient oak tree stood tall and proud. Its bark was thick and knotted, and its roots twisted deep into the earth. Beneath its branches, hidden among the roots, was a single flower glowing faintly with a soft, golden light. Its petals were delicate and shimmered like moonlight, but the light was fading. "This is the heart blossom," Tessa said solemnly. "Its magic is tied to the balance of nature. The darkness spreading in the forest is draining its power. But there's hope. Deep within the woods lies a hidden spring. The water there is pure and enchanted, and it has the power to restore the heart blossom's light." Lila nodded, her resolve strengthening. "I'll go to the forest and find the spring." "You must be careful," Tessa warned. "The shadows are dangerous, and there are creatures that thrive in the darkness. But we believe in you, Lila. You have a strength inside you that even you don't know yet." With Tessa's guidance, Lila set off toward the forest. As she ventured deeper into the woods, the sunlight dimmed, and a chill filled the air. The once lively and vibrant forest seemed silent, the trees looming tall and twisted. Shadows moved between the branches, and Lila could feel eyes watching her from the darkness. Suddenly, a mischievous sprite darted in front of her, its sharp grin gleaming in the dim light. "What brings a little human to our dark woods?" it hissed, circling her like a snake. "You should turn back before the shadows swallow you whole." But Lila stood firm. "I'm not afraid of you," she said, her voice steady. "I'm here to save my garden." The sprite cackled, but seeing the determination in her eyes, it backed away into the shadows. "We'll see how brave you are when the creatures of the dark find you," it taunted before disappearing. Lila pressed on, her heart racing but her mind focused. She could feel the magic of the garden calling her, guiding her through the maze of twisted trees. Finally, after what felt like hours, she stumbled upon a small clearing. In the center of the clearing was a spring of crystal clear water, its surface shimmering with an ethereal glow. "This must be it," Lila whispered. She knelt beside the spring and carefully filled a small bottle with the enchanted water. As she turned to leave, the shadows around her stirred. Dark figures began to emerge from the trees, creatures with glowing red eyes and twisted forms. They circled her, their low growls echoing through the forest. Lila's heart pounded, but she remembered Tessa's words. "You have a strength inside you." Clutching the bottle of water tightly, Lila closed her eyes and focused on the light inside her heart. Slowly, the darkness around her began to retreat, as if her courage was pushing it away. The creatures hissed and shrank back into the shadows, disappearing into the forest once more. With the way clear, Lila raced back to the garden. When she arrived, the heart blossom was barely glowing, its petals drooping. Without hesitation, Lila poured the enchanted water over the flower's roots. As soon as the water touched the soil, the heart blossom began to glow brighter and brighter until it was shining like the sun. The garden around her burst into life. Flowers bloomed in a riot of colors, the trees swayed with new energy, and the air was filled with the sound of birdsong and laughter. The fairies danced in the air, their wings sparkling in the sunlight. "You did it!" Tessa cried, flying up to Lila's shoulder. "You saved the garden." Lila smiled, her heart full of joy. "I couldn't have done it without you." From that day on, Lila and the fairies became inseparable. She learned the secrets of the garden, and with each passing day its magic grew stronger. The shadows in the forest receded, and peace returned to the land. And so the garden flourished, a place of magic, beauty, and friendship, forever touched by the courage and kindness of a brave young girl and her fairy companions.